I still have like one nostril that's partially like clogged, but I feel like I'm just going to be like blowing my nose all over you guys. It's that time of year.
Rose has a time of year. Iowans suddenly have cause for celebration. Cool.
Yeah, I don't live by the Iowa border. Nowhere near. I am definitely not allergic to animals. Here we go again. Not sure what that means. Love you, even though people start talking about like their ADHD meds or whatever. I never answer questions about recommendations. I'm like, I'm not a doctor.
Well, unless you're Gabby Hanna and we're on Twitter.
I had to have my septum repaired a few years ago.
Whose job?
After they repaired my septum.
Whose job? Okay, I know that this started off as a funny entitlement video, but now for the rest of it, I'm going to get a little serious because this shit's kind of annoying.
I've had to deal with my own issues, but I don't want to, like, this is not about me. This is about Emily. And I kept thinking like, oh my God, yes. Only in my experience with my videos, she would take something. Creepshow art needs either help or to be held accountable legally. But that's kind of what she did to me. So I called her out because she doxed. She was using people she made a video about me.
And here we are, back to talking about her experience, how she's a part of the story. She's already forgotten about Emily. Does she even know what she's trying to say here? She doxed. She used people. She made a video about me. And that's what it all comes down to. She made a video about Katie. How dare she?
And she used troll accounts that had doxed me and harassed me and called the police on me. And
never mind the fact that we don't know who called the police or for why. Or why do we think that the police were called? Why? Because Katie says so? Never mind all that. I want to focus on her accusations here, the dox, the trolling. I want to focus on how, when, and why Katie uses these terms and who it is she's referring to, because this is very important, especially when you're trying to determine manipulation tactics or gaslighting, selling a narrative, having an agenda. These are very important things to look at when you consider what is behind everyone's actions, what their intentions are. So in order to do this, I think it's important to discuss and establish what criteria needs to be met for someone to be considered a troll or for something to be considered a dox. So to start with trolling, Wikipedia lists internet trolling as: a troll is a person who posts inflammatory, insincere, digressive, extraneous, or off-topic messages in an online community, such as a newsgroup, forum, chat, or blog, with the intent of provoking readers into displaying emotional responses or manipulating their perception. This is typically for the troll's amusement or to achieve a specific result, such as disrupting a rival's online activities or manipulating a political process. Even so, internet trolling can also be defined as purposely causing confusion or harm to other users online for no reason at all. So to further understand troll or trolling, I go to netlingo.com, and their definition is: it originally meant the act of posting a message in a newsgroup or blog that is obviously exaggerating something on a particular topic, hoping to trick a newbie into posting a follow-up article that points out the mistake. Due to the emergence of internet extremism, it evolved to refer to the people who post racist manifestos and bigoted expressions on social media platforms. As memes and provocateurs began to pervade pop culture and politics, a lot of the stuff that passed as fun in the early days established a negative behavioral blueprint and created a fake facade that people could hide behind. In general, to troll means to allure, to fish, to entice, or to bait. Internet trolls are humans who post nasty things to strangers online. They fish for other people's confidence and, once found, exploit it. Trolls vary in nature. Here are 4 types of internet trolls. Playtime trolls. An individual plays a simple short game. Such trolls are relatively easy to spot because their attack or provocation is fairly blatant, and the persona is fairly two-dimensional. Tactical trolls. This is where the troller takes the game more seriously, creates a credible persona to gain confidence of others, and provokes strife in a subtle and invidious way. Strategic trolls. A very serious form of game involving the production of an overall strategy that can take months or years to develop. It can also involve a number of people acting together in order to invade a list. Domination trolls. This is where the troller strategy extends to the creation and running of apparently bona fide mailing lists. Okay, so according to these definitions, I think it's safe to say that a troll is someone who's trying to cause chaos for no other sake than causing chaos. Their only intent is anarchy. They want to just cause trouble and disruption for the sake of seeing it unfold. Other than that, you have extremists, your political extremists, people who are trying to sell a narrative, trying to set things in a different motion. Those people, though, they usually have a personal investment still. Like, they have personal ideological beliefs. They want to create their own utopia, in a sense. I think it's safe to say that people are not searching for a utopia if they're following Katie. If you look at most of the people who are following Katie, who are hate watching her, who are calling her out, you won't find them doing this in any other communities. You won't find them doing this to anyone else, any other personalities online. It's just Katie. Now, if you look at the subreddit, for example, that is filled of mostly people who once subscribed to Katie, and for whatever reason, they feel wronged by Katie. Even if you disagree with them saying that they've been wronged by Katie, it doesn't change the fact that so many people in the subreddit are people who feel they've been wronged by Katie. So the people who are commenting behind the block, as she puts it, or the people who are reminding her of how hypocritical she is at times, they are not trolling. They're working through an anger or an upset that they experience at her hands. They're calling attention to behaviors of one person online. That is not trolling. You can call that a hater. You can call that a dissenter. You can call that a million other things. But that is not trolling. That is not online trolling. If you remind your friend that they said or did something that hurt your feelings and they have not apologized for it or even acknowledged it, are you trolling your friend? If you remind a work colleague that they said that they were going to do something but they didn't follow through, are you trolling your coworker? If you catch a friend or family member or anyone in a lie and you bring it to their attention and you do so for the purpose of finding or discovering what the truth of the matter is, are you then trolling that person? Pointing out someone's hypocrisy or pointing out the fact that someone lied or that someone changed their mind or whatever, that's not trolling. I mean, we do that with everyone, with all of our relationships in everyday life. Isn't it safe to say that normal everyday behavior cannot be just excused and thrown away or just brushed aside by calling it trolling because you simply don't like it and it's upsetting your day? By mislabeling behaviors as trolling, we are taking attention and sensitivity away from the really dangerous and harmful behaviors. And we are also exaggerating the harm caused by some behaviors, some events that are just done in fun or in jest. By labeling it as nefarious and trolling, we're making it into something that it's not. But in this instance, by labeling everything as trolling, the shit that people experienced is not being acknowledged. It's not being validated. It's being mocked. And it's being mocked for the simple fact that someone just doesn't want to hear anything bad said about them. None of us are so entitled that we don't have to experience our mistake. And then to put yourself on YouTube and all of social media as a public person, and then to expect to experience this without anything being called into question, that's incredibly entitled. Now for doxing, Oxford has the definition as search for and publish private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet, typically with malicious intent. So for this, I think it's important to establish what is considered private and identifying information. If you're posting screenshots of someone's public Twitter posts, is that really identifying? I mean, it's already been put out there by the person whose identity had made the tweet. So it's already been identified as part of them. It's not private on Twitter. Not even if you have your settings set to private is anything private on social media. It's public. It's social media. So if the information being shared or being called attention to is not private and it is not suddenly identifying, well, then it's not private and identifying information. Now, as far as malicious intent, if your intent is to bring attention to something that actually happened, is that malicious? If you're just trying to get people to see the facts, to see the truth, to see what actually happened, how is that malicious? You're not trying to manipulate the landscape here. You're just trying to call attention to what is already there.
All that kind of stuff, and that had posted photos of my house. And
didn't she just say how this wasn't about her? This was about Emily? I digress. Though I don't agree with this, I do feel it important to point out that she has posted pictures of the Stoffer's house, the Duggars, some of the cast members of Teen Mom. She has posted images of a lot of homes. This is just one of many examples of her hypocrisy.
Done all kinds of bullshit, like so much illegal shit with me.
Okay, this is just flat out irresponsible of her, in my opinion. Because everything she just gave examples of, none of that stuff is illegal. Nothing illegal has been even claimed yet once by her. And now she's saying that there's been so much illegal stuff. Name one. Because you know what? Doxxing isn't illegal. Posting a picture of someone's home isn't illegal. None of this is against the law. I think it's important to know the law if you're going to go out and then call people criminals.
And that's who she was associating with to make her videos about me. People that were literally trying to harm me.
I find that statement incredibly telling because she views all of the things that people who follow her on social media do as potential harm for her. Like, for example, when I emailed the brewery asking them why they weren't reporting phone calls, you can disagree with it, that's fine. But for this purpose, I want to know, how was that harmful for her? How does she see that activity as potential for harm? How does she view sharing or posting screenshots of her words in a group as causing her harm? She's saying that her own words are harmful to her. That's amazing.
But she created this narrative like Katie is stalking me, Katie is doxing me, Katie's passing around my address. And I'm like, I never did that. Nothing she said about me was untrue, though. Yeah, no, everything was untrue. Noelle, you're cute. Go back to... Thanks for stopping by, Shannon.
And every comment left from me that doesn't give me the good feels going to get blamed on the Troll of the Week. And this week, it's Shannon. Not to be confused with last week's Troll of the Week, Emily, or Emily Stans, rather.
It's very dangerous. It can lead to swatting. I've had the police at my house.
Yeah, according to her, she's never been swatted. But why bother to make that correction when you can so easily and negligently allow people to think you've been swatted?
Since that happened, I've had the police at my house 4 times.
Since that happened, she's had the police at her house 4 times. Well, 2 of those times was, 2 years ago in 2019? When her neighbors were the first ones to call on her. Then the following day, she was so much of a sadfish when she explained to her viewers what transpired the day before between her and her neighbors, that her viewers were then concerned for her safety and called the sheriffs for a welfare check on her. The 3rd time, according to her, was after she put some tweets up kind of hinting that she was going to maybe possibly do something harmful to herself. She then came out and scolded people for caring enough to check on her welfare. But then recently she came out and said how she was feeling like that. She was driven to that point, to the brink of that point. But when it happened and people cared and showed that they cared, she yelled at them. The 4th time was a CPS kind of thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't have any confirmation that they were at her house the 4th time. So either way, this isn't just some trolls looking to swat her or anything or looking to cause her harm. They were her neighbors in one instance, her viewers 2 times who were concerned about her well-being. But I guess accuracy in reporting, even when the story involves you, is just too much to ask for.
And there was one woman, I know in one of the videos she made about me, she plastered my email address in it. So my full email address was listed.
So it was her email address that she was upset about, because some of you may remember when this happened. Creepshow Art had done a video on Katie and showed an email that Katie had sent Creepshow. She displayed the whole email. Then Creepshow's video was struck by Katie. And it was believed and it was said that Katie had struck it because her email address was shown in the video, even though Her email address had been up on her YouTube channel at the time for all to see. Katie then came out and said, no, it's not the address. It's the whole email. I did not get permission for that to appear in her video. Emily D. Baker even did a stream kind of supporting Katie's claim there because apparently there is some legal expectation of privacy to a certain degree placed on emails. Now, though, she's saying it was her email address. Is this just one of those instances where she just changed her mind upon receiving additional information, or is she full of shit?
Which I had listed in my About section on a tab, but I had not plastered in like the address, the specific email address in there.
She had it in a tab, she's saying, on her About section that's on YouTube, but she didn't have it plastered, the specific email. How do you say this and then totally contradict yourself in the next breath, like literally, and just act like nothing happened?
It's not our job to gatekeep anybody else. It's not our job to tell anyone what to think, say, or feel. It's not our job to cancel people for whatever reason. It's not our job to tell people that you said this word, so therefore everyone should stop following you, or you're such a jerk, so everyone should stop following you, or you said this and you were doing that and blah, blah, blah.
Sounds like Katie just canceled her job.
I don't have fans that go by and record Duggar houses. I get people that send me links, but I don't encourage anyone to do that. So I think that's you being a troll.
If you use the photo that someone sends you, is that really discouraging them from sending you stuff in the future? You're kind of encouraging it. You notice here too, someone points that out. Someone points out the fact that she used a viewer's photo in one of her videos. She has now shipped that person off to the land of the trolls because this is grossly and negligently misusing a term for your own personal gain or agenda. She's laying the groundwork right now for future victims to be even more harmed when they make these accurate claims. Okay, now remember how in learning about trolling, it was basically to wreak havoc or cause trouble for the sake of a fuck, whatever. I want to call attention to two of Katie's tweets from yesterday. Okay, now the first one, she had tweeted in response to Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein had tweeted, I know y'all want me to talk about Trisha, but this whole thing is extremely upsetting and disturbing. I'm still processing it. This is a person who I considered one of my closest friends a week ago, who is now making videos accusing me of sexually harassing her. It's too much. Trisha said I was sexualizing her in the workplace, which is the textbook definition of sexual harassment. Katie then tweeted, you are right. She's lying. Now that was at 11:17 p.m. Then 1 minute later, at 11:18 p.m., she tweeted to Trisha. Trisha had said, I want to move on and never talk about it. But when every comment is apologize to Ethan, like, I'm sorry, he's just not perfect in this either. And he doesn't think he did anything wrong. She had tweeted, this feels like revenge. Now, I read this, and I think she's playing both sides here. She's trying to get both sides riled up in a fight at each other. She's telling Trisha, yeah, you know, what he did this, he's not perfect either. This feels like revenge. And then, but a minute before that, she's telling Ethan, yeah, she's lying, you're right. How is that not trolling? I mean, luckily these two are huge creators, and they don't even know who the hell Katie is, probably. So there's that, at least. But yeah, she's trying very hard. Okay, now I want to just bring a little bit of attention over to how this isn't about her. There are these tweets from yesterday, and first, yesterday I shared that I supported Emily Artful coming forward about her experience with Creepshow art. After posting my support, these sock puppets, all the same person, started accusing me of being a bad friend, being nice to someone's face, and talking behind their backs. One of her followers had wrote, can't believe that someone has the time and energy to waste on harassing you and other creators. And why do this at all? It makes no sense to do this, because in the long run, you can't live a normal life whilst thriving on spreading all this hate. Katie then responds, there are so many creators that do this. These I believe are Shannon, her husband, or one of her stans. Okay, the next one I want to read. She had first tweeted, She made 4 videos about me, filled with slanderous, maliciously untrue statements. She published my full email address in her video after she accused me of doxing her, which I did not do. I'm not a terrible person. I stand up for myself when people lie on me. She then follows that up with, she got her friends to gang up on me. They all made the same videos. Imagine having every single channel come for you over her lies and then gleefully pushing me to the point where I contemplating harming myself. That's what Shannon did to me. Then she comes out and says, I want to be clear. I'm not trying to insert myself into anything. Emily's story is horrific, and she did not deserve that. No one deserves to be trolled. Cyberbullying is out of control. For everyone making videos about any of this, try to remember everyone you discuss is a human. Okay, lastly, I just want to call attention to a couple screenshots here. She keeps claiming how she's not trying to insert herself. This isn't about her. It's about Emily. And it's about people being stalked and harassed and doxxed and everything online. Well, here's something she posted on Instagram yesterday. She shared a screenshot from Twitter where another page pretty much kind of dissed her. So the other page said, I'm dying. Hashtag without a crystal ball just referred to herself as a pretty nice person. I'm deceased. And the screenshot shows how Katie had tweeted to the MLM police, the page, the MLM police, and because they had said, I hate MLMs, as you know, but I will not look in the same direction as without a crystal ball. Katie responded, I've never interacted with you. That's so bizarre. I'm actually a pretty nice person. Someone had shared this on Twitter, and then someone else, don't call me boss babe, responded, same, she is toxic. And so in response to this on Instagram, Katie writes, so a random account tagged this person on a post. Then I kindly stated, I don't know her and I've never interacted. Then they used my response to laugh and mock me. I am confused by this. I was not rude to you. I was nice to you. Why run to Twitter to tag a drama channel that makes hate videos about me? Are you all working together to get content by baiting me? Yeah, I want to call attention to this because you cannot be baited if you don't allow yourself to be baited. You can't blame other people for you taking the hook, okay? Because people can throw bait out all day long. But if you don't take it, if you don't bite on that hook, then you don't get baited. So you have full control over whether or not you're baited. I think I might have said baited too much. I don't know. But mostly, this isn't stalking. This isn't harassing. This isn't canceling her. This isn't anything. This is someone just giving an opinion on social media. And she's trying to shut it down. She's calling it hate videos. She's trying to say Truth Sleuth makes hate videos about her. No, it's not hate. When you cover factual events as they happen and then give an opinion maybe on it, that's not hate. That's commentary. Okay, last one. This is in response to someone telling her not to let it get her down or whatever. She says, I will. Today I've been helping to show cyber harassment. This is really more for educational purposes. There are many creators that work in tandem to harass and target creators they don't like. Yeah. This isn't harassment. This isn't working in tandem. Sometimes if someone's not liked, they're not liked by many. That's just a popular opinion. That's not tandem. You're not jumping onto a trend here to dislike someone. None of this was even supposed to involve her. This wasn't about her. Now it's all about her. This is supposed to be about cyber harassment. No one's being harassed. She's trying to control what people say about her on the internet. That's insane. You don't get to control or demand or enforce nice things to be said about you online. It's great that she doesn't want to hold people accountable now. That's wonderful. But you know what? If people don't hold people accountable, then who the hell does? Okay? She just doesn't want herself held accountable for her own actions because she knows she's got some shit to be held for. But she doesn't want to do the time. I mean, is there anything more entitled than to think that you can do whatever the hell you want and you shouldn't have to be made to pay for it? Okay, now it's time for member shoutouts. I'd like to thank
L House, Dottie Morgan, Robin M, Melinda, Sassy Elmo, TB, Cheryl, Karen Collins, Anika Hildebrand, Maria Rose 1, Dottie Blumsting, VVLCR, Amputee, Maui, Realification, Susan Canada, Mama Boys, Nola, Dylan's Mom, Mima Dragon, Cindy D, Pretend Fashionista, Crystal, Laura Nelson, The Dark Magician, Totally Clueless, Sally Godfrey, Teresa Hudson, Doreen the Tennessee, Faith Adams, Paula Dupree, Cancelled Sadfish, Lola W, Captain T, Susan Elliott, Rena Rue, Sunny D, Sassy Naz, Sensibly Morbid, Jessica, Grace Case, Tifa, Busy B, Haiti Joyless, Nat, Berber, D. Connor, Bo Roundtree, Danny Marie, Betty Boop Wolf, Sue M, D. Marie, Claire Esper, Diane McCall, MB, Sam Shaw, Jamie Couchard, Jovi's Mom, Hollyanna from Kalamazoo, Annette Carlson, Lola Pepper, Allie R, Police Wife Life, Angel Cake, Nana Hawk, JCM, Kimberly Roddy Mom, Y'all Look What the Cat Dragged, and Nancy P, Atticus Finch, Absinthe 12, Sherry Landscaping, T. Adams, Crystal Clark, Sky Vision, Karma Kid 101, Sleepy Superhero, Shaz, Camilla, Leah, Jeanette Stevens, Lil Red Y'all, Gentry Arc, Changing Cupcake, Jen Gerard, Poodlerific, and Yoo-Hoo Shoo Shoo.
Thank you very much for joining, and thank you everyone for watching.